Channel. Let's start on the right scene. How you guys doing? Welcome back to the Nick Walsh TV channel. How you guys doing? Sorry for being slightly delayed. That's why I'm a little bit rushed and I pressed the wrong button just now. But we're back online. We're going to play some Spin and Goes today, and I hope you guys will keep me company today. We are live once again on Twitch and also on YouTube, so you guys can watch whichever is easier for you if you're not aware of that. And yeah, we're just going to do our usual kind of ting over here, guys. Hope you guys are well. Hope you had a good weekend. For those of you that were a bit confused, we were not live last night because we were live on Sunday for a very special FaZe Sunday Million. That was a lot of fun. I want you guys to continue to give me your feedback about the FaZe Sunday Million. That'd be great because I want you guys to be able to communicate with me and share your ideas about PokerStars and how things are being run so I can communicate that to Stars as well. We are playing Spin and Goes today, as I already mentioned. We're going to continue on building this graph over here. And yeah, we're making good progress so far. You guys can see this is our Nicholas Walsh graph. And we are obviously doing a lot right. So this is the Chips EV graph. Just to clarify something, I had a couple comments on a previous YouTube release, which is actually the first time that we've started releasing onto YouTube with full-length streams. When we were across on the stats page, it was showing a negative value for the dollars won. That stat is actually corrupted because the way that I had to import this into the new database is from old hand history, some of which is not going to transfer over all of the profit and loss. However, all of the data that we've saved on this graph is going to be correct since we've opened this database. So if we filter, for example, for this year, we can see a very good looking graph. And then also these stats over here will also be accurate. So to date, we are currently winning exactly 50 cents. We have almost exactly a 0% ROI. We're running very poorly though. Of course, you can see from the graph here, guys, we're still significantly under EV. This is our EV line. This is the actual chips one. We haven't been running very good. And then some guy had the great idea for us to play kickoffs during the last stream, which I have to say was not very successful. I'm not gonna point any fingers. I'm not gonna name any names. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. We're gonna play Spin Stay, guys, and I hope you'll stick with me to the very end. Also, something that I just noticed. The PokerStars Twitter just updated and informed me that tomorrow there is going to be a server restart. So probably no stream tomorrow. I haven't figured out how we're going to handle that just yet. But as of right now, the plan was to stream Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I think we might just do a Tuesday and a Thursday, maybe a Friday. I'll let you guys know. One of the cool benefits of playing on the Nick Walsh TV channel is that we kind of have a little bit more freedom to do what we want to do over here, which means we can do more random streams. And that means, you know, jumping on kind of when we feel like doing a session and sharing it with the world, if that makes sense. So today, guys, just regular $25 spinning goes. Get your questions in the chat. Keep me company as per usual. And yeah, we'll see how we get on today. Hopefully running a little bit better than the start of this year. What's funny is that actually, if we filter specifically for dates after 01/01/2024, so this is since last year, you guys can see over here on this graph that just generally speaking, the last 2 years have been kind of a bummer. Having said that, we also are not playing a ton of volume. So if we look at our tournament results down here, 1.3K games played, and obviously also a pretty significant mix of stats there as well. So generally speaking, I think this is correct. If we come across over here, it says a minus 6% ROI. This is only 1.3K games, guys. So first of all, over the course of 1.3K spins, really anything can happen. That's why we need to have a nice big bankroll. You can see that we're winning almost 0 chips despite winning about 50K in EV chips. And, you know, generally speaking, not only will our chip EV be higher over a greater sample, as we've kind of shown this year, but then also the total number of tournaments played will be considerably higher. When the total number of games is considerably higher, the chip EV will also reflect that. And also the dollars won will flatten out as well, because eventually we're going to stop running absolutely atrociously. Again, I'm not 100% sure that that number is correct based on, like I said, I was mentioning about the tournament summaries possibly being corrupted and therefore the dollars won not quite correct. But generally speaking, I think the chip results and also the other data is accurate because that's usually played across hand histories. But anyway, doesn't matter. My point is, we're playing spin and goes, we're playing well. And as you guys can see, it's hard to win when you're not winning chips, right? So that's what we're going to try and improve upon today. The other thing I wanted to mention, guys, is the 250K challenge, which I have advertised down there at the bottom, is still underway. I still intend on completing that. There's been some holdups regarding the release and all that, which is kind of tilting for me because I really wanted it to be like start of the year, January. We're going to get regular updates up and out. I'm having to figure out how to release those best to you guys. I'm honing in on a process that's actually going to be not only cool for you guys to watch, but also informative. And then also I'm going to try and create it in a way that doesn't cost me $1 million to produce in edits. It's all a work in progress. This has obviously been a bit of a funny start to the year because we're launching a brand new channel when we've been streaming on Twitch professionally since 2019. So lots of sort of stopping and starting. Now that we're getting more of these things in place and things are starting to look a little bit more like they're supposed to, and I'm happy with some of the designs and stuff, once the sort of workflow is set up and ready to go, then we'll be ready to get these things off the ground a little bit more frequently and actually very consistently as well. So more highlight reels coming out on YouTube, which will be highlights from these streams. We'll get some regular YouTube shorts up, which will be the 250K challenge. But also, I'm going to have the opportunity to be on stream a little bit more often, you know, in the coming months as well, which means hopefully we'll actually get a chance to play a greater number of spin and goes, which then will more accurately reflect the dollar results, will more accurately reflect our projected chips EV. So we're doing good things, guys. We're heading in a good direction. We just need to put in more volume to defeat that variance as per usual. Welcome everybody who joined us nice and early. Hello to the squad. Hello Lion King. Hello Smeeble. It's UK Buddy stream time. That's right. How you doing? CJ, what's up? Good to see you. Aaron Paul, as always, good to see you, man. Thank you for the new follow, by the way. I'll give you a shout out in a second. Hello, Tom. Thank you for looking after us. That's right. Some people said had a great weekend. Good. My uncle Mike came to visit from the United States last weekend for my mom's birthday, so that was cool. Shout out to Uncle Mike. It was nice to see him. We actually went to Topgolf on Sunday, which was really, really good. Topgolf in the cold and in the wind, not as much fun as it is in sunny Vegas, but there you go. Tom says, you know, since last time it was rough, it has to be good. Yeah, it's going to be good. Zephyr, what's up? Good to see you. Blaming his viewers. Actually, it was Tom. I'm going to name names. You know, Smeeble, that's not a terrible idea. We could do a little study sesh tomorrow. I have to figure out how to structure that, though, because, like, if I log in tomorrow without a plan in my head, let's go to this cam for a sec. If I log in tomorrow without a plan in my mind about what a study session is going to look like, it'll just end up being really boring. It'll just be kind of like dead air time. A quick Vegas Infinite stream. That's not a bad idea, Tom. Study trip planning. How Nick chills on not playing days. How do I chill on not playing days? Good question. Usually play poker, to be honest. What's up, Ed? Good to see you there. Hello, John. Pleasure. But yeah, so generally, yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow, like, it's not like I have other plans. Possibly tomorrow we could do like a gaming stream. Again, one of the cool benefits of the Nick Walsh TV channel. I'm not sure what we would game though. I've got so many games I downloaded that I haven't played. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go. Anyway, let's play some poker. So, with no further ado, spinning goes. Let's play some spins. Let's fire up a spin, and then we'll see how we get on. If you guys have any other suggestions about what we can do tomorrow, obviously it has to be off stars. The funny thing is, every time I in previous iterations of server restart, I've actually had some brilliant idea about something that we can do alternatively, and it usually involves PokerStars, and I have to remind myself that it's offline. It's just so weird for stars to be offline in general. All right, first game. I don't know the guy on the left. We obviously know Jamsias. Absolute legend of the spin streets, of course. Shout out to Jamsias. I'm not sure if Jamsias has ever joined us on stream before. Probably would have done... We probably would have, like, shout out to Jamsias before. Maybe Vegas Infinite. That might be kind of fun. I'll have to do another setup, though. So tomorrow morning, I had planned on actually setting up for the Spin and Go stream. What if tomorrow we do some Vegas Infinite and then we also do a little bit of on-stream setup as well? Because I want to set up for Thursday. Speaking of Thursday hopefully will be the first day of our spin battle concept. Hi, dog. Hi, Con. Hey, man. So that would be cool. But I need to do a little bit more work on it. It's almost done. And then basically on Thursday, I do have plans. So Thursday from 2 p.m. as per usual stream time, it's going to be myself and Wistern. We're going to do the first ever spin-off. That's what they're going to be called. Spin-offs, like spin-off series. But it's going to be, obviously, we're going to be doing a spin and go off. Me and Wistern are going to do a new format that I think you guys are going to really enjoy. Me and Wistern both play spin and goes at the same time. There's a series of rounds. There's different points per round. It should be exciting and sweaty, and there should be things to look forward to in that regard. And what are we doing here? It should be exciting in that regard. And then I think also moving forward, I'm going to try and add more interactive elements for you guys to get involved with. How's it going, bud?
Yeah. Good.
All right, what are we doing here, guys?
It's very exciting.
Put a poll on Instagram on the games that you downloaded but haven't played. I mean, I don't know. What you got plans tomorrow, Con?
Me?
Yeah.
What day is tomorrow? Wednesday?
Definitely a blocker bet. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah, cool. No plans.
Is Baldur's Gate co-op yet?
For some people it is.
Okay.
They're slowly. Ooh, I know. They're slowly like releasing the patch to people.
Okay.
Just for like stress testing.
Okay.
So it could be.
Okay. Maybe I'll run an update and we'll see what the options are. Cause tomorrow there's a server restart.
Oh, sick. Okay.
So we might be able to do some Baldur's Gate. I don't know how my audience feels about Baldur's Gate, but
Space Marines. We've got quite a few different.
True. Okay, we'll have to think about it, chat. Bubble Pig, what's up? Bubble Pig. Excuse me, Bubble Pig. You wouldn't happen to have a username on PokerStars that is similar to Bubble Pig, and you play Heads Up, by any chance? Would you? Question mark. You Stone Cold Crusher. All right, let's get this going as well. Yeah, we're doing this now. This is the new thing that we're doing. That's quite a clever little system, actually. Does it stick again? There we go. It's going to be sweaty, as in there's going to be fun things to sweat. Yarp. Definitely got to call the one here.
Actually,
thank you very much for the follow. Speaking of shoutouts, I need to do those as well.
Sub 25 big line.
2 barrels.
Sound like that's your voice.
I'm feeling like I'm going off piste here, but yeah. What if we were to do this? Wouldn't this be so weird? Wouldn't this be so weird, guys? Would this be the coolest bluff of all time? Oh, wait a second. Okay, it's going to be one of those streams. It's going to be one of those streams. All right. Off-piste indeed. I would say that was pretty off-piste. Baldur's Game is such a dope game. You've never heard... John. You've never heard of Baldur's Gate? That actually surprised... You might not have played it, but the fact you've never heard of it is kind of weird. Because it's also like a very, very old, popular game. Zephyr says, I always appreciate a gaming stream from the usual poker streamers anyway. That might be fun. You'd be happy to know after my long venting post from last week, I've grinded back from my play money losses down to 250 mil up to 1.07 billion. Okay, Billionaires Club, nice work. So you're saying that sometimes you lose and sometimes you win? And it's always, yeah, exactly, it's always rigged. We might try and find a game that's a little bit more viewer friendly. Like Baldur's Gate, it's quite slow. You like the short and follower alert? Good, okay, perfect. I'm glad you approve. I mean, you're the one that has to watch all the time, so you know more about it than I do. Sirza Reba, thank you very much for the follow. It's very kind of you. Daniel Mozart, thank you for the follow. Dr. Respect, thank you for the follow. EC, Juralord, and Hoodwink as well. Thank you for the follow. Coolest bluff of all time. Good, nice. I'm glad you approve. So let's check out streams. And notes. Let's get that one in the highlight reel. Speaking of highlights, I need to download those as well. Okay, new notepad for Nick because I'm forgetting stuff. Notepad number 1. I need to back up VODs. 2. We need a Vegas Infinite setup. And 3. We can shove this one. Yes. Is this good? I don't know if this is good. I'm pretty sure this is good. We're calling a shove here if we need to. And what was the other thing I wanted to do? Oh, game stream question mark. Leave that one open. I'll remember that one. This is definitely a push. And let's get that note in there as well. Today is the 25th. My goodness. You've always been an FPS and sports games player? Fair enough, buddy. Yeah. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of it. It's like, it's been a long time coming because like the original Baldur's Gate games were like pretty iconic, very like very, very famous. Okay, I'll turn this on. No. Sorry guys, I'm just getting my randomizer going again as well. Because we've become so sophisticated at this stage that we randomize some of our decisions. Which in the past I've never felt like was necessary. But I'm coming to terms with, especially since I've been firing up GTO Wiz for the study sessions, I'm coming to terms with the fact that there are probably... I'm coming to terms with the fact that there is probably a lot of spots where I'm very, very unbalanced. And I'm starting to play against some very good regs as well, especially in the heads-up challenge. Yeah, same starting time, Tom. Yeah, I won't change that, probably. This is one of the randomizer spots. Okay. I'm not going to get all of them correct, but it's going to confuse people enough, I think. Well, it confuse the regs enough. Yeah, we're not folding. What am I talking about? Jumps, yes. Probably quite a good opportunity to fire turn with a large, quite a wide range. Checks the turn, okay. $10-3 showdown. Nice. Sigma says, Nick Walsh TV, watching your streams the past many, many months has really helped me play more consistently. I have a better understanding what I'm trying to do and why. Thank you, dude. That means the world to me. It really does. I appreciate you. 60-40 to start the stream. 60-40. I said 60-40 to start the stream. How dare you? Lars Ulrich, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, we definitely float these ones, guys. 2 overcards to the 5 plus the backdoor spades plus it's a board he's going to barrel like 100%. And then on the river, we obviously just have a boat, right? I think the jack high probably wins there quite often anyway. Yes. We have a double gut shot. I think we just take the card. Getting check raised on this board really sucks. Sometimes the jack helps, sometimes it hurts. He's not betting yet, that's interesting. I think we can do this now. Rip Roar, what's up? Good to see you. Check, check, river. Nice. Value from the 10 is cute. Ace 9 was a call versus shove. King Jack, we're still trapping. Calling a shove if we need to. And then we're gonna try and make this like a 2-street setup. 3, 4, 5. So the other thing I wanted to experiment with, guys, as well is in the coming months, I'm going to maybe try and start 2 tabling spins on stream on some days. That's such BS. I'll take a chop. Running into Queen 8 there is a bummer. Still the right shove, though. The problem I have with the 2-table setup, as it's always been the case, is I know a lot of people appreciate that we 1 table so we can sit and talk about stuff a little bit more in depth rather than just trying to get through volume. However, I think we're calling a shove here, guys. Yeah, this has got to be a call. Against a reg, wish me luck. Against a reg. That's fair. 2 chops then. So my issue that I have with the 2 tabling is obviously it's a lot faster for people to follow, but then also I'm not a massive fan of the layout where it's 2 tables side by side, because then it's harder for you guys to watch when we're on mobile and stuff like that, or on smaller screens. The issue that I have, however, with trying to do a 1 stack where we have like 2 tables on top of each other, it'll flip between the 2 tables, and when it's a spin, it's not really, there's not a lot that identifies the 2 tables from each other. So like if I try and do this layout and then we have 2 tables on top of each other, it'll pull focus, and then also like that it might pull focus at a time when there's like a really important all-in that we need to see. So the 2 tabling thing is the only way to do it side by side. I do have a 2-table setup that is like maximizing space. But let me know what you guys think. I guess part of what I was trying to accomplish with that is I'm trying to get through more volume so that our actual dollar results are more reflective of our actual, profitability. Volume beats variance, blah, blah, blah. I always bang on about it. Because I think it's one thing for me to show off the chip graph all the time, which does mathematically make sense, right? Having a positive chip graph over a certain number of chips per game equals profitability. That's just science. That's just math. However, a lot of people who are new to it are like, cool, but like, what about the profitability? And it's like, yeah, like we're having a really good month because we had lots of big multipliers, or because like we're running above EV. We had a really bad 2024 because we ran under EV, but we were 1 tabling the whole time, so the volume's really slow. Let me know what you guys think. Hello, Flushy, how's it going? By the way, Flushy, I have not forgotten what you said about Irish Open. We need to remember to do that. We definitely need to remember to do that. We need to figure out how we're going to transport those as well, I guess. All right, next game. The 6-7 suited. Let's actually note that one down for review as well. I'm pretty sure we were around like 8 to 10 effective. I'm pretty sure anything 10 effective and low we can shove there. 8-7 suited for sure. 6-7 suited is the question mark. Let me check that one out in a little bit. We'll put that one in the bank for the end of stream. What's up, Kitty? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, surely 2 barrels is needed here. This is when he shoves on us and we cry. 2 barrels is fine. Good to see you, Kedio. Dire Straits, what's up? Good to see you. How you doing, mate? Yeah, BX, that works as well, but it's actually a somewhat similar setup to the stacking thing, because when I switch between the 2, it's not a lot to identify. I mean, I could do 2 tables. The only way I could do that without it being too jarring is I'll have 2 scenes, one that has like number 1 at the top, one that has number 2, so it's more obvious when we're switching between the tables. I guess that works as well. Sigma, that's a good idea as well. Yeah, we could do table colors. In fact, I should probably change this to be more of like a Twitch color, right? That's actually a good idea as well, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, BX, I mean, that is definitely another solution. I get, now that you said it out loud, I'm thinking maybe that works if like I have like game 1, game 2. That might be better. That's actually a really good idea. Doing a combination of both would be kind of cool, like different table colors and then also some different. I'm wondering if I can do it per table, right? What's up, Curtis? Babu Sapu, what's up? Good to see you. We'll have to do another Uncle Curtis stream at some point as well. I have another idea that I think might be really fun that involves 2 computers. We might be able to get Uncle Curtis to help us with that as well. All right, this one's probably 50-50. Randomizer says go here. You missed the Sunday Million on a Monday. So look, this is. I know what you're saying, and actually, I do think that the Monday. I think the Monday streams make more sense for like a whole host of reasons. However, in my opinion, the Sunday Million phase is like a really good move for the like for like just making Sunday Million absolutely massive. Like the prize pool was so big. Yeah, change the background on one table. That's a good idea. I those are some good suggestions. I might be able to do a 2 table where we have 2 scenes, and then I'll number each scene so you guys can tell when it's table 1, table 2. I mean, I maybe left and right. Left and right doesn't make sense unless you see the 2 next to each other. That's a good idea, Babu. I like that one. All right, one sec. Let me close this. We don't need this. Open this. Let's do this really quick. All right, heads up. Nebus, probably one of our super regs. Select plus winner, so playing a lot of volume. Just lay the peer pressure on Curtis so he folds quickly. So basically, guys, I have this idea as well. It doesn't necessarily need to be spins. Excuse me. So it's well known that it is well known that Curtis doesn't have a fold button as well. That's true. So I have this idea. It doesn't necessarily have to be spins, but the idea would be that actually rather than having 2 streamers in different locations sharing screens, sharing tables, it would be 2 people in the same room, which I think is a different dynamic. 2 computers, both playing poker, and then, you know, obviously you guys would have a stream with like coverage from both tables. Not necessarily from both tables, like from both streamers, I mean. You did watch the rest of the VOD, fair enough, Kitty. It was a good one, it just went super late, dude. It was like 4 o'clock finish, 4 a.m. finish. We need a 3-day version. 3-day version would be cool too. I think at some point when we have too many days, however, it starts to get a little bit messy. Halo, what's up? Good to see you. We're calling a shove here if we need to. And on these boards, I think we're good just to go ahead and bet. We're happy to get this all in if we need to. If we get check raised or whatever. Take a free card, I think. Yeah, 2 barrels feels a little bit awkward unless we shove. Just check and make the nuts. That's cool. Oh, but Nick, it's not the nuts. There's a straight flush on board. Shut up. How about that? Nice one. That feels good. We're gonna make the nuts when they make a straight. That feels cool. And then the Jack 10 suited, we limp, and if they shove, we call. This is definitely reg v reg spot. Very enjoyable one, in fact. 2 streamers, 1 room. Perfect. Like, I just think there's a really different dynamic when 2 people are actually in the same room that I think, like, I haven't really seen that done on Twitch before. I used to follow a couple on... I used to follow a couple on Twitch that they were like a married couple, and they would game next to each other on like side-by-side gaming PCs, and it was just super chill. It was just really, really nice, and like they obviously had a good rapport, but also like that was just like kind of how they like did things together. 2 games, let's go, boom. The streak continues. But yeah, I have to figure out how that looks and like what that feels like. But I'm hoping in the next couple of months I'll have way more time to like work on new ideas, get new ideas online. I'm kind of struggling right now just to get everything ticked off the list from the start of the year still. I mean, including the heads up challenge, which at this point it has almost definitely just fallen behind. It's one of those things, though, whenever I sit down to play those games, I always get through so many. Like, the idea of the challenge was that it wouldn't be as taxing. I'm going to play this hand weird. Nice. We got a little value on the river. That's cool. He called us with Queen Deuce of Hearts. Actually, there was 2 straight flushes. Oh, man. You're lucky my Twitch chat isn't... Wait. Where's my Twitch chat? Where's my Twitch chat? And you're banned. Oh, Tom, can you get the end command? We don't have the and command on this channel yet. That's another thing we need to start at. I need to set up my sub alert as well. Okay, I'll make a sub alert tonight as well. And activation. Because we're going to do subs soon. Curtis is just going to write sloppy heads up. Sigma says there's a father and son stream team that will play next to each other in the same room, and it's a fun dynamic. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. What is Uncle Curtis doing today? Does Uncle Curtis want to come over? We could get a little Uncle Curtis action. I still have this set up from last time. I still got this one set up. It's still got the Curtis cam over here. The quality on that camera, I never realized how bad the quality was on that camera. Like this is the camera I used to use back in the day. And actually this one is so much nicer now. The color and everything. That one was a chop. We can watch some sloppy heads up from Curtis. Big deal, what's up? Big deal online, bro. Absolute legend. If we do end up doing a two-table spin and go thing, we actually might be in the territory where we can do like a really low-level challenge as well. Again, I hate the term challenge. Like experiment is probably a better word. Like the heads up challenge, if I was playing flat out, like would not be a challenge. Getting to 250k heads ups is very easy when you're playing the 50s and 100s. Like a full-time grinder should be hitting, you know, much bigger numbers than that over the course of a year. Which again sounds like a huge number, but when you're playing games that are that fast and you're playing such a high volume, like it's very different. Like playing $1 million in MTTs is like way harder if you're playing 50s and 100s, right? Okay, so not a fold, just a call. We probably still check turn, but we are going to look him up with ace king some of the time on the river, because he'll still have hands like 8-9. He'll still have jack 9. You know, it's all pretty straightforward stuff. Nebus decides to call with the ace-2 suited there, which I think is probably good. Nebus's pre-flop will be near perfect. Trying to get in the same time as Nick, but never lucky. You have to set a timer. I mean, even then, that's still gonna be hard. You don't know the game finishes until you see it, right? Fob Spectator, thank you. A 10k multiplier. All right, cool. Go for it. This might be check raise territory. Okay, we definitely want to lead now. At this stack depth, we lead 2. King of Poker. Yeah. Do we check raise this one? Max pressure. This one is probably about a 20% ISO. Not close enough. I think we will probably check raise this one if we need to. Otherwise, we do this. King of Poker. What's up, Jose? Good to see you, man. Actually, in my PJs and in bed. C. Lambert owns PJs. Didn't know Slambert owned PJs. Not quite good enough. Ooh. No. I actually can't remember that one. Jeez, bruh. Okay. All right, we gamble. Nice. Can somebody look up the 9-7 suited? I think we might have missed a call there. Yeah, we got to call this one. Wish me luck, guys. Here we go. I am more than willing to accept the 60-40. Woo! Yeah, I do feel like we need to call here some of the time. This could be like just an 8 jack or 6, but it's also a spot where I think they can kind of do this as a bluff quite aggressively too. Okay. Nice answer. Promptu says 9-7 suited is a call at 7. Was that 7 big blinds? Yeah, I think it was, right? It was less than 7. Well, then this must be a call as well, right? So if 9-7 suited was 7, then this obviously has to be a call, right? Wish me luck. Oh, man. Can we do it again? Can we run good today? Let's go. So I'm just going back to the 9-7 hand here, guys. I think it was less than 7. It was actually 6.3. So it's not like the biggest sin in the world to be a little bit tighter than Nash there. Against their reg, we probably want to be a little bit more strict with it, though. That's a bit of a cooler. We're definitely calling King 3 of spades. GG. GCO Wizard can check your previous hands. It can. You're absolutely right. It can. I'll need to upload some hands later on after stream. Watched a replay of the Millie yesterday. It was a real roller coaster for effects and bands. Yeah, they played so well. Some of the table players we had on that final table were playing awesome. Thank you, squads. Good to see you. All right.
Actually, if only there was
Blitz,
someone
thank you
that
very much for the follow.
was an expert at sub 25 big blind.
Nice turn.
That's what you sound like.
How's it going, Outblitzed? Welcome to Nick Walsh TV. And we all in. Dr. Tonic, how's it going? Good to see you. Can we get much higher? Let's go. That's 3 in a row, baby. Definitely a game where we ran good in some of our all-ins, but you'll note how most of the all-ins were like 60-40. So really, in terms of EV, we don't lose very much. Sorry, guys. 1 sec. Can we get much higher? I really like this sort of fleecy jumper thing that I bought, but I bought it strictly as a mid layer from Finisterre, which is quite a good company. I bought this as a mid layer to go underneath my barber jacket, and it's great. It's fantastic. I love it. It just does exactly what it's supposed to do. I think that like as a piece of fashion though, it's given me like it's giving like it's kind of like I'm like the guidance counselor taking people out on like their outward bound experience. You know what I mean? This is like I'm gonna take you out in the top ropes, like hike through the Welsh valleys, kind of vibe. It's very outdoorsy. I don't know if it's really my style. Like I'm gonna wear it on stream. You like the follow? Have you not seen the follow alert, Flushy? Flushy, I just saw your message. Perfect. Flushy's so famous. Flushy is so back. Can we get much higher? Yeah, it was a pretty good comeback. I would say it's a pretty fair. It's like a fair one. It happens quite often, Ollie. We had one last stream. We got the guy down to 0.5 big blinds, as in like less than half of a big blind. I think it was 0.4 even. And then it was like all in, lose, all in, lose, all in, lose. It was like 5 consecutive all-ins to get the full comeback. Friend of the stream, this is Breastcore. The Breastcore slow roll. Yeah, that's fair. Raise call Queen Jack suited is cool. Nice. I understand having a song stuck in your head forever, but we can't be singing a Kanye tune. So that was a song before Kanye, BF. That was actually a song before Kanye, you know. The Walsh Valleys, perfect. Yeah, the Walsh Valleys indeed. We have a gut shot. We're betting the flop. The Walsh Valleys is fantastic. And against Nebus, should we sneak in a little trappy trap? These guys love to ISO deep. The ISO frequencies deep's out of control. Can we get much higher? I had a quick phone call and now Nick has a different top on. Check all the way down like a boss. Can we get him to call for a chop? No. Neeb is too powerful. You missed the story behind it too. That's accurate. Limp shove? Limp shove? Nebus limp shove? Alright, limp call is one thing. Running light bolts. Slow down the turn. Oh, quick bet. I mean, is it even possible to be losing now, guys? Doesn't he just always have, like, king 10? Okay, maybe not king 10. King 9? Nice. What does he have? He's got 8-7 offsuit. Perfect. Love it. Putting a trap here as well. We're calling a shove. Wish me luck. Here we go. Another 60-40. 7. Nice hand, bro. Misguidance counselor. There you go. That's it. That's the one. Queen high? Queen high for the win? Slightly better queen high. And probably a little limpy limp here. Hino is asking, does your range change as the blinds become higher, or do you stick to your game plan? Hino, the ranges change every single time there is a different effective stack depth. So, like for example, the study material that I created, they had the pre-flop ranges that I created for Spin and Goes that you can get on my website, has every single stack depth, every single effective stack depth. So 25, 22, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. So, you know, obviously we play in big blinds, but yes, as the blinds increase, that changes the relative effective big blind stack. And we have a range for every single one of those. Of course, it's probably one of the most important factors. It is probably one of the most important factors in deciding what we're going to do pre-flop, both reactively and actively. That's a bad run out. I'm hoping that our opponent just has like Jack 9, check river. That would be cool. Don't think betting is... Maybe we can blocker bets? No, blocker bet is too exploitable. We'll just check. Nice, got him. If we blocker bet, he can turn like his hand into a bluff a little bit too aggressively, I think, which kind of sucks. Can we get 4 in a row? Can we win 4 in a row? Pair of 6s with a spade. We have a flush. Got value from the spade too. Let's go. Turns up here with, he's got pocket kings with no spade. Oh my goodness. Good lordy. If he shoves here, we're going to call. This is another reg v reg spot. Hands with too much equity that we want to play in position. We can also just call the raise here as well. That's nice. And then we can fold the flop. Probably just playing a lot of pushing on this board. He decides to check. Interesting. The check is probably stronger than the bet, to be honest. Like hands that ISO and then check here are just excruciatingly strong. Or they're excruciatingly weak. All right, wish me luck. Oh my God. 4 in a row. 4 in a row. Oops. 4 in a row, mates. 1. 1. Nice. All right, cool. 5 in a row. Here we go. $100. This is definitely one that we would like to win. All right, we have a plan here. We have a plan. Float. Lead. And then check win. Check win. Nice. Turns up here with trip jacks. Nice river. We obviously had more than just the hard outs though. Right. This is one of our randomized spots. Yeah, okay. Let's go for it here. Yeah, Sigma, in relation to your question, absolutely they do. I don't think that's the reasoning behind it. There's definitely an element of that though. There's definitely an element of, I mean, they're always doing things to try and streamline that aspect. They're always doing something to try and streamline that, but I don't. At this point, it probably is quite optimized, so I don't think that's the reasoning behind it. No, let's just fold the turn. We're going streaking, Aaron. Check, check, river. That's unfortunate. The fact he has ace-4 here is probably a significant leak. And he's limping the button now as well. Also something we need to know.
Actually, if only there was someone that was.
Thank you very much for the follow.
Sub 25 big blind.
This was Sweet Jaws. What's up? Thank you so much. What's up, Sweet Jaws? Biggest spin is right here. $150,000 from a $15 buy-in. That was like in 2017 or something. My next biggest after that was 6K. That was at a higher stake though as well. My guy limping the button again. Does the 10 change much? Just check river, take it down. Easy game. Nice. I mean, the 10 changes a lot. What I mean to say is, does the 10 change much to a range that doesn't bet that flop? Probably not as often. Like if he has a gut shot, he probably just bluffs flop most often, and then, you know, a lot of the 10x. There's a lot of gut shot, a lot of straight shots that contain the 10x, and then the pure gut shot is the 10 as well. The Jack 9 gut shot is what I mean. How you doing anyway, Sweet Jaws? Let me know what's up with you. All right, Queen 7 of spades. Checking this one most of the time. This might be float territory. Backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw. It's pretty hard for Queen High to take it, but there you go. Most often when they're checking like this, they have at least King High plus. Or a better Queen High. There you go. You know, you might say there, if that's the case, if that's the read, I mean, the read is when they check, right? I mean, when they're checking, obviously, that's going to narrow down their hand a lot. But, like, I think we don't want to just be firing off whenever people check twice there because, okay, I'm not gonna accept this. I'm not gonna accept a check raise here. Yep. Hopefully, just showdown. The problem is some of the hands that he check raises as a bluff improve. Like if he has a flush draw with an 8 or a jack or something, but it's just a check on the river. Nice. Again, that's something that we need to be careful of because we don't always just want to be doing that reg v reg. Sorry, we want to do that more often against reg v reg. We can't do that against any old player. If we do it against the wrong opponent type, they're just going to end up having way too much value, which is not cool. Start small on this board. Nice one. 6-5 suited might even just be pushed at the stack depth at some frequency. I need to look this one up as well. We'll mark this one down for review. 6-5 suited heads up in position 15 effective shove question mark. I'm pretty sure that we're allowed to shove that at some frequency there as well. And then this one is going to be one of our... Let's do this one. We're calling a shove if we need to here. All right, wish me luck. Here we go. That's unfortunate. That's actually probably one of the worst setups that we could have seen. We actually managed to hit the board in a way where we stack off and then we run into like the 2 over cards clubs. Just unlucky there. Not a lot we're going to do differently. It's pretty standard. Like, absolutely dreamy for King of Poker here, of course. Because we end up having literally a dominated hand. This is the hand. We end up having a literal dominated hand as well as having a draw that's where he has the flush draw and the better hand. Just a cold deck, guys. This is totally fine. What's going to happen at this stack depth, guys, when we're about 15? We're going to have two ISO sizes according to the 2 ISO size strategy that we created. It's going to contain some suited connectors, some suited gappy connectors. 9-7 suited, probably not as frequent as like a hand like 6-7 suited or 8-7 suited. But in any case, this is fine. So we go for the larger sizing. And then obviously just one of those boards, we're just going to get it in. The only alternative, I guess, on that flop would be to bet and then call the shove or potentially to check raise. But I think the shove is better. It just denies so much equity. I wish we had the 150K on stream. I mean, yeah, it was a sad story in the end. What's up, Smoking Branch? Good to see you. So we continue. My brain says no. What's up, Frankster? Good to see you. Cheers, John. Five of diamonds, 4 of diamonds, not the one there. Oh, sorry, Jean. By the way, in YouTube chat, I for some reason it wasn't connected on in my aggregator here. Jean says, "Thanks to you, my GPV was 60 and now it's 90. Let's go, dude. That's great to hear." Sweet John says, "How many tables could you play comfortably if you were grinding?" I would say 3 very comfortably and 4 pretty good. It took me ages to get up to 4 tables. I was never like a multi-table whiz, especially when it comes to spins, which are so fast. But I would say 4 4 at a profitable level, 3 extremely comfortably. I'm actually tempted to float this one, guys. And then I think we get away with one of these here. Nice. But yeah, it's been on stream, usually just the one table, just for educational purposes. However, off stream, yeah, definitely up to 4, no problem. 3 leisurely when I don't have to talk about the spots as I'm playing them. I was saying earlier as well, Sweet Jaws, I know you just joined us, but I think later on this year I'm going to experiment with 2 tabling on stream as well. Not because it's strenuous or it's an issue like from a logistics point of view, but more just because for a long time I've been just one tabling and people have always really benefited from the sort of more slow conversational kind of thing that we do here. But I might do like a little mini challenge or something with spins but you know, if you're gonna do a spin and go challenge, you need to play volume. Otherwise, you're just gonna be victim to the variance way too often. Mateas, we got really good results so far this year. So far this year, we have a chip EV of 93 chips per game, which is absurd. It's very, very high, especially these days, especially $25 and $25 stakes and higher. We've only played 246 games though, so I honestly don't think 96 is probably sustainable in the long term, just because you know it's a high variance format in the first place. However,
actually,
we have won about $125.50 playing the 25s. Our actual ROI this year is 2% based on those dollar results. However, our actual chips EV is a significantly higher ROI projection. We're just running really far under EV. I mean, if I do a little bit of really quick math, our current chip EV is, I think it's that, so it's like 93 minus, I mean, you know, our actual projected EV for the games that we've played so far is like above 10%. But again, like, being 10% pre-rake back at the 25s in the modern day is probably not a thing. But that's what we've been playing this year so far. Yo, Alex Kidd, thank you very much. All right, so are we going to get to showdown with an 8 is the question. People just don't bluff like this. When they check this flop and then bet, it's just never a bluff. I'm just going to give this guy credit for it. I say never. Infrequently is probably more important. Thank you very much for the follow. That was Kinpez. Appreciate you. We lost the all in there. All good next game. That was a good game for us overall. Two quasi-regs. SVM is almost definitely going to be a reg, by the way. We have them marked in blue because we have a couple things that we labeled. This one actually is fine, by the way. I've looked this one up after the fact. The ISO is totally cool. A few decent multis would improve the actual ROI as well. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so like Frankster, even if we keep all of the even if we kept all of the multipliers that we've had thus far, and we just ran anywhere near chip EV, we would be up like way more, way more. We're still probably 10,000 chips under expectation. 10K divided by 500. Lol, math is hard. 20 blinds are so under EV. Jean says, have you got a warm-up before the games? Not for the kind of streams that we're doing here. If I were to be playing full-time, I might have a little bit more of like a quote-unquote warm-up routine, but it probably wouldn't be poker-related. It probably wouldn't be poker-related. Like, I wouldn't like play smaller stakes to just like get in the zone. I would just go straight into spins. But what I have been doing this year is I've been doing a morning routine, which I think has been really, really good for me. It's pretty straightforward. I'm having a hot lemon water before, like, when I wake up. Okay, 2 barrels
actually,
here is interesting.
if only there was someone that was an expert at sub 25 big blind. That's what you sound like. That's your voice.
Our hand is pretty well disguised.
Actually,
I'm gonna call twice and see how we go on the river.
Someone that was an expert at sub 25 big blind.
I'd say a good player can bluff here, but fair enough. Nice hand. No more kickoff bank. That's right. Right, so this will be a little bit of both. 50-50. Let's put this into the limp. So, sorry, John, I was talking about the warm-up. So, in the mornings, I've been waking up. I'm having a hot lemon before anything else. I'm trying not to look at my phone at all in the morning as well. I'm trying to like avoid the dopamine trap. With my hot lemon, I have creatine. I have some lion's mane mushroom as well. I've got a really good supplier that gives like there's like capsules that have a lot of have a really high milligrams per capsule. I'm trying to have like a health supplement every morning, like something along the lines of athletic greens or some sort of a green drink. And also I'm trying to do my Wim Hof breathing every morning. So breath work before anything else. I haven't been very good doing it before phone because I've had a lot of other stuff going on, but I've been trying to get through all that in the morning. And then also intermittent fasting until around lunchtime, around midday. And then I'm trying to have a protein shake as my first sort of actual calorific intake before, after lunch. It's meant to be before lunch. And those slight changes do actually make a big difference because I feel like I have a bit more of a routine. I do feel a bit more energetic. I do feel like my focus improves as well, especially if I'm like laying off the drinks too heavily at the weekend or whatever. I have been trying to reduce the amount of drinking I do as well throughout the weekend. But as a warm-up, not really. I feel like I've played so much poker at this point, though. Like, it's less about feeling like you're warmed up and more just like feeling good about going into a session and just feeling confident that you're going to be able to like perform well. And also being mindful of the fact if you're not playing well that it's okay just to say it's not a good day to play or whatever. Question from Sweet Jaws. How many games a month playing $10 games would you have to play to make $100 a week? So there's a lot that goes into that. Let's say you're playing the 10s. I do think that a very high ROI is possible. Let's just say theoretically you only have a 5% ROI pre-rake back. It's the number is going to be larger than you anticipate here. So that would be let's say 100. So I would say in order to get to that number without rake back, theoretically speaking, you're probably going to need to play something in the region of, so let's say you're playing $10 games, you're making about a 5% ROI. So $100 divided by 50 cents basically. So 2,000 games approximately to get there pre-rake back. However, spin and goes are a very different animal and you need to be aware of that. So if we are going to play spins, we need to be aware of the variance being extremely high. And for that reason, what we need to do is think about it less in terms of weeks and think about it more in terms of months. Also, that is without rakeback, and rakeback is extremely, extremely potent when you play high variance games because rakeback is paid out linearly. So if you play that many games, you know exactly how much you're going to get back in rakeback if you know what level you're at. Does that make sense? So over the course of 2,000 games, a lot can happen. Like over 2,000 games, the amount of like variance associated with that is going to be very extreme. That means you can win a lot more or lose a lot more than you anticipate. And for that reason, you know, like saying I want to make exactly $100 a week spinning goes is not a game like that. However, if you then set out to say I'm going to play 5,000 a month or 4,000 a month or something like that, obviously you flatten the variance considerably and you get a lot closer to your expected ROI faster. Again, that kind of sounds like a bit wishy-washy. I'm just trying to be a realist. Like spinning go players, first of all, grind lots of volume to try and flatten the variance. They also plan out their grind in terms of profitability in months rather than weeks. Because like if I look back at my historical results, not from this database because I've managed to corrupt the actual data on accident when I uploaded the last batch, but if I look back at historical data from like all of the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of spins I played, like tens of thousands of spins, the actual projected EV ROI based on chip EV is so accurate. It's actually insane. It just requires a lot of input in order to get close to it. So you have really good weeks, you have really good months. You might even have good years, but the actual exposure to variance is extreme. Therefore, more volume is required in order to try and flatten it. So you might say, I want to make $100 a week playing the tens. Theoretically speaking, if you have a 5% ROI, then you know you'll have to play like 2,000. But in reality, what you might say is, I'm aiming to make $100 a week over the course of 6 months, and I'm going to play that much volume. I'm going to play a lot of volume in order to accomplish that, and then go from there, if that makes sense. Sorry, did I say 200, Matt? Thank you. 200 is what I meant to say, not 2,000. So the initial bankroll suggested, or the one that I suggest, is at least 200 buy-ins per stake level. If you're playing lower stakes and you have a much higher ROI, then you won't need as much theoretically. But I would just say always 200, just because then you're always comfortable and you're always playing confidently. There's a pretty significant and major issue saying, okay, I've done the math, I only need 100. That's fine. And that's totally fine if that's how you want to approach it. However, a lot of people will start with a 100 buy-in bankroll. They'll have a bad couple weeks, and if you lose half your bankroll, it just impacts you mentally, and you won't be able to play as confidently. Like, you need to be so consistent in this game. It's so much better to have more buy-ins than you need and feel confident in your game than it is to wing it and then feel like you're absolutely punting it off because you're stressed out because you feel like you've done half your bankroll. You know, the swings are huge in this game, so. Also, your bonuses are super important as well. Because like I said, that will, having a solid rakeback, solid bonus structure, that will flatten the variance considerably, because the amount that you make in rakeback is directly proportionate to the amount that you grind, rather than it being based on the multipliers and all that other stuff. What's up, Chris Slade? Good to see you, man. Long time no see. Yeah, sorry, I misspoke. The other thing to note as well is if you're playing lower stakes and you have a higher ROI, that will actually flatten the variance naturally as well. Because you win, because the higher your edge in, the higher your edge, you know, you're winning so many more pots where you're just like completely dominating someone, and therefore like it's not, your EV will be, like, there's so many more spots when you're playing lower stakes where you just absolutely dominate a game where people give you buy-ins, and that will be reflected in your actual EV. But when you have a finer margin, you're playing against better players, a lot of the edge is going to come from like just getting it in good pre-flop and having an edge where you just are getting it in better more often, where there's a lot of variance involved, if that makes sense. And we are going to call this one, guys. Wish me luck. Yeah, this, especially against a reg. Being dominated here is really, really sad story. That part of the reason why a lot of these suited connectors are calls at the stack depth is just because they have so much equity. Running into 10-9 suited is kind of what it is. It's just a variance thing. The call is mandatory against a reg there. Sweet Jaws says 10 games a day, 300 a month. That seems good. Yeah, and but again, like, you know, Sweet Jaws, like, as long that's fine to break it up that way, but then also bear in mind that the actual dollar number, you could get there super fast, which happens all the time. Lots of people will say to me, "Oh, Nick, I started watching your channel. because I've been playing spins and I've won like $600 in like a couple weeks or whatever." And you're like, "Cool, that's nice, but also like, what's your chip EV?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't track." And you're like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you're not tracking, just FYI, like, this could be a bad situation for you because, you know, you might just be on a massive heater." And then they actually look at their results and they're not winning. They're barely winning any EV. They're just running super hot. So there is a question mark as to whether or not we put more chips in now. I was going to say a club is really, really bad for us on the river here. If they have that kind of a hand, they end up having 6-5. That's a bummer. We should have just shoved the turn. I think let's go back and look at that hand again after the game, because it's fine like to play the hand the way we did, but it's like also like if it doesn't come the 4 of clubs, he's probably going to go for more value and we probably win a huge pot and we look like a genius. But I think the kinds of hands that raise on that flop are going to be 2-pair combos and then also draws. And for that reason, I think we probably want to be putting more chips in on the turn, because we want to kind of punish the draws or get value from the draws if they want to gamble. And then also if we do run into the 6-5s and all that kind of stuff, excuse me, then you know, we're gonna wanna try and get that in before a scare card comes as well. Venom, why don't you drop me a link on Discord, bud? Yeah, I mean, we're still going to call the river, right? Kind of just is what it is. I think we're just winning too often to fold for 255. Yeah, nice one. Aces thinks that they're value betting there, obviously, but it's not a good run out for them. Pretty dangerous board in general. Fair enough, though. Aces is a good hand. Okay, we're all in. Like, the check call is fine. We're still going to get value from 6-5, but I think maybe we're giving the clubs a little bit too much of an easy ride there. If they have missed clubs and they go for it on the river, we still win the stack. So again, I think it's probably quite similar in EV, but I think maybe it's better to try and get more chips in on the turn. Definitely a push here. Wish me luck. 2 live cards. 2 live cards. I said 2 live cards. They're alive. Shove. Nice. Okay, we got some action here at least. AK, easy push. Slightly pulled ahead here now. Can we get much higher? All right, heads up. Tess says, hi Nick, how are you, man? You did talk about Chip EV. I have all my games on Poker Tracker 4. Where can I find my Chip EV? So you need to get your Chips EV. And then you need to divide by the total number of games. Sicarius is asking, what's the highest multiplier I've seen in the 25s? I actually don't know. At the 25s. Yeah, we're not folding, obviously. Okay. Nice. Saved ourselves some chips there. So yeah, Tess, basically you need to just find your chip EV total and then divide that by the total number of games played. That's your average chip EV, which is the number you're looking for. Tom says, if you give up alcohol for a month, I will do the same, and I'll also throw in soda too, which for me would be hard. I mean, yeah, we could do that, Tom. This year though, I've been extremely well behaved. I don't think I had a drink for all of January even. But like I think probably we should do it anyway. I think that like I wanted to start doing some of my more fitness goals as well this year. Sicarius, I'm not sure what the highest 25 was. Maybe Tom will remember. It's not huge, but most of my bigger multipliers that I've seen were at various other stakes. Yeah, Frankster, I hope for your sake you can change that though, buddy. It's so bad for you, mate. You sent the shark scope on Discord. Thank you. Venom, how are you filtering your shark scope to include spins? It was my understanding that shark scope didn't show spins anymore. They did for a little while, but not anymore. Hindle says, higher stakes, higher quality of the play. If so, then how do you divide the stakes per difficulty? Like, up to 10s would be beginner level, something like that, or am I going about it the wrong way? So yeah, as you play higher, the competition gets stronger, and also the player pool gets smaller in terms of like the number of people that are willing to gamble at those stakes. Little trap here with the Queen 9 feels good. That's a bad turn. GG. So I think once you start to get to the 10s and higher, there will be people playing spins full time. Which again, a lot of people are like, I've had people be like, oh yeah, 10s, sure. Like, how is anybody making a living from the 10s? It's just factually accurate. Depending on your living situation, your cost of living in the region that you live in and whatever, there are people playing mass volumes at the 10s and 25s that are making more than a living. Like, they're doing much better than their friends and family in terms of profitability. I would say at the 10s, you're still going to get a good mix of recreational and pro. I would say that probably there are some good $10 pros that probably aren't good enough to play higher though, for example. So again, it's kind of just stake dependent. Generally speaking though, spin and goes are a format that it's a game that people realize you can study extremely intensively. You can know the spots very well. It is what people make reference to as kind of a solved game. That doesn't mean that there's no edge. That doesn't mean that there's no skill. It just means that because a lot of the situations that you encounter are things that you can study intensively, and there's very little variability in terms of, like, if we're playing an 8-handed MTT, there's lots of subtle differences in the way the table is sort of the chips are distributed that make each hand very unique. So you can study things sort of holistically, and you can say, like, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm supposed to do in this spot. But when you actually, like, run it with all of the factors involved, with all the different chip stacks available, with all of the frequencies of the players and whatever, you know, the results are very, very different. PKOs, for example, are a game that are very, very difficult to be perfect at, because subtle differences in the way that people are stacked and also the value of their bounties change so frequently that each, like, there's no two spots that are very similar. You can just sort of learn generally what you're supposed to do, and then over time you have a good sense of what you're supposed to do in most situations. But the game is very difficult to solve on a case-by-case basis. So it's a game that a lot of people gravitate to because in their minds they hear it's a solved game, therefore it's easy. It's not. That's not the case. It just means that with the right material, you can get to a point where you're quite competent quite quickly. Competent, not necessarily good. And for that reason, there's a lot of grinders who choose to play Spin and Goes, because it's also a game where you can play a lot of high volume, and with high volume means you can unlock rewards very quickly, which has a good, sincerely important benefit, right? Like I said earlier when we were talking about the profitability of Spin and Goes, having rewards that complements, you know, high volume is very beneficial, because you get your rewards paid out at a flat rate. So even if you get to the end of the month and you're slightly losing or you're breaking even in Spin and Goes, if you're playing enough volume, you're getting bonuses unlocked at a rate where you can actually be profitable after rake back, excuse me. But yeah, I would say that that's kind of a general rule of thumb. Like, if I went down and played the 10s consistently, you know, the actual ROI pre-rake back would be quite high. But I, you know, prefer to play higher with a lower ROI, because, you know, like I said, the benefits of the rewards is pretty significant, and also just generally speaking, you know, I find it more challenging and more enjoyable regardless. I would say, you know, low stakes up to the 10s is going to be the softest, and then just from then on it gets you know, harder the higher you climb. You know, 25s and 50s, I would say, are probably going to be somewhat similar. It depends on the time of day. It depends where you're playing and whatever. And then I would say the 100s plus are going to be quite reg dense. Still profitable, still a game that you can beat for sure. But your actual ROI at the higher stakes will be significantly lower. You know, maybe a couple percent. Prompty says, I've done the Sims. If you have a decent expected return of 5 to 6%, including rakeback, 100 buy-ins is more than enough. And this is not the toughest. This is not the toughest to get on the 10s, but also possibly higher. Yeah, I would say that 5 to 6% is very doable at the 10s, even higher than that. 100 buy-ins at the 10s for me personally, I know for a fact would be enough. But again, if we swing, I'm not going to go, you know, I'm not going to freak out if we lose 40 buy-ins or something like that at those levels. It's something that comes with experience, but I would say that the reason why I suggest more Promptu, and you'll appreciate this, I'm saying this for the benefit of others, is because most people, when they go on a significant downswing, they lose their head. And if you're refreshing your balance and you're seeing, you know, oh man, like, you know, I've only got like 50 buy-ins left, people tend to really freak out about that. Yeah, sorry, you've gone on to say that anyway. Okay, so if I put my graph in chips, I take the total chips won divided by the number of games. Correct, that's it, yeah. If you want any more help tests, just get on the Discord channel, I can help you there. That's it. 25x was the biggest 25 and we didn't win. There you go, yeah. We've obviously had much bigger multipliers, but that was for different stakes and whatever. Yeah, right, it's under jackpot, yeah. Oh, okay, cool. It wasn't Shark Scope. Yeah, that's right. That's fine, buddy. Let me take a look actually before we move on. Oh, thank you. I'll add you as a friend as well, dude. Message request, ignore, accept. Okay. Okay, cool. So I actually can't view that link, buddy. You have to take a screenshot and send me a screenshot. This is what I'm saying. So I'm not a paid Sharkscope member, so it won't let me view that. Just take a screenshot and send that instead. Yeah, that's true as well. Thank you, Frankster. Check your challenges to make sure you don't get additional sort of implied rake back from other challenges. What's up, Raksha? And to get my chippy V, do I get my expected chippy V or my actual chippy V? Like if I run it under, it's you want your actual chippy V. You want to use chippy V, not chips 1. Zafine, it depends where you live. It depends where you live, but they've done, they have altered some of the frequencies. Fidency was asking, Nick, what's the secret of living off spin and goes? Consistency, dedication to volume, and and also being slightly insane. Thank you for your answers, and also not for playing kickoff. I appreciate that, buddy. No problem. Winning more than you lose is also useful. Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's, you know, making a living off spinning goes means different things for different people. Like I said, there are people that are comfortably making a living playing, you know, lower stakes because of their situation. I would say that if you want to be profitable in spinning goes, if you want to treat it as a profitable hobby, that's probably a better way to describe it. Not to say that you can't make a living. I know many people who do. I would say that consistency is absolutely critical. You need to always be studying. You need to always trying to be improving. That's a good way of keeping on top of your game and not sort of autopiloting too often. And you need to play a lot of volume. You need to be involved. You need to be putting in the reps. Jakers, that's true. There is also a custom stat that you can create, which works as well. There's a way to download it. I think it's actually on my Discord channel as well if you need it. Why are we 4xing the button? Test if you change, there's a y-axis. First of all, there's a stat you can bring into your bar. But then also you can filter you can go into the graph page and you can change to game tournaments played. Tournaments played is the same as games if you're filtering for spins. So you have a 36 chip EV over 1,843 games on the $3 stakes. You're going to want more than that. That's a good start. Having a profitable chip EV is a great start. My guess is at the $3 stakes that might actually be slightly losing over overall. Because I bet I'm guessing that the rake on those games is going to be like, you know, 7% or something like that. I actually don't know from that pool. And also, it's gonna be dependent on the number of chips you start with though as well. So I can't help you with the GG reference because I don't know how many chips you start with and all that. So actually, I take that back. I'm gonna assume that that's probably slightly losing or breaking even. Let me think. It's probably closer to break even no matter what, but it also depends on the number of total chips in the game and stuff like that. Sorry, and to Jaker's point as well, I forgot that that was the case too. Yeah, right, exactly. So that is something that we need to take into account. I can't really help you with those because I don't know the implications of the differentiated chip amounts, and then also obviously having fewer chips in the game as well is going to be an issue. Let's do one of these, and then let's do one of these. Would be really cool just to check it down with a 10. That'd be nice.
Actually, if only there was someone that was an expert at sub.
Thank you very much for the follow. Helmy, thank you for the follow. Oh, I missed a few here. Sorry, guys. Prom2, thank you for the follow. What took you so long, you fish? Helmy, thank you for the follow. 5Pro, thank you for the follow. Kinpez, we gave you a shout out, but thank you as well. Yeah, you're canceled. That's it, mate. Prompt you, you're canceled. So, test, one sec. So, I would say it's probably going to be near break even, but that's just at a guess. That's just a random guess. But again, I don't want to say that confidently because I don't actually know how it works on GG. Can we get back in this game? GG, next game, please. That was fine, just a lot of sort of pretty standard stuff. You made over 400 with rake back. I mean, yeah, exactly. That's also a thing. Like I was saying before, rake back is very, very good. For games like Spin and Goes and Hypers in general. All right, $100, let's do it. If you lose 3 spins in a row, you have to do a kickoff game. If we lose 3 spins in a row, we have to... I mean, I'd rather do some casino thing. 3 games in a row, and we have to do a spin on Crazy Time. Crazy Time, man. Crazy Time, way, way too fire. Max says, what's up? When are we going for Twitch partner? Good question. We'll be affiliate very soon. We'll be affiliate very, very soon. Twitch partner is some ways away, but we got to get to affiliate first. We have a tray. It's a good question, Test. I have to figure it out. I don't know off the top of my head. It could be that because you're going to see more lower... Could be because you're going to see more lower big blind starting stacks that actually the smaller chip EV is better. or it's not equivalent. It's actually like a chippy V of 35 is more expected from those stakes, but I just don't know. I did a crazy time martingale chart. Oh my gosh, dangerous. Dangerous. Crazy time is good fun. If we lose this one, should we play a crazy time? I'm not even sure how I would do that right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Crazy time. There's one called Crazy Balls. I'm not sure how that one works. Jack 10's getting pretty close. Alright, let me see if I can do this. If I do this, then I do this. Yes. You want to do a crazy time, Tom? Shit. Sorry, guys. Nice.
Actually,
Thank you very much for the follow.
Was an expert at sub 25 big blind. That's what you sound like. That's your voice.
The DJ hour. Yeah, deuces are just a really awful one there, buddy. I'm checking as a trap here, not because I'm concerned about him having an ace. Nice, got some value. He calls us with deuce 3 of clubs, which is fantastic. That's unfortunate. This was for the $100. 4. That's unfortunate. Yeah, obviously the ace 3 is definitely a push here. Just running into aces. Just variance. Good fold equity though? No. No. Not for a min raise, no. Jean is asking about the color, my color scheme. So yellow means that we think that they are a reg, so they're going to be playing close to GTO. Blue means that we have an unusual note that we want to remember about them.
Actually,
and then occasionally there's enough unusual notes that indicate that they're probably a recreational player. There are quite a few blues that are definitely yellows that just need to be adjusted, but they do have a note of something that they did that we think is a little bit unusual. We probably missed a bet on that river. I probably should have bet the 5s. What's up, Mac? Thank you for the good lucks. All right, just give me a sec, guys. We can do some crazy time in a sec if we we can do some crazy time if you want after this, just for a minute. So reg v reg, we're gonna call. And then we're going to shove on him here. You know, he's going to have a lot of ISOs that have to bluff this texture. So we have a lot of fold equity here, but then also obviously we have the draw as well, which is cool. Pretty straightforward stuff, really, isn't it? He's going to bet fold here a ton, which is why this is such a nice spot for us. We win so much at non-showdown. Beautiful. Diamond. Yeah, boy. Okay, so let's talk about that spot really quickly before we move on. Because definitely bet call with queens for sure. This is definitely the correct line. But when we're playing reg v reg, this is an important situation for us to think about. So playing against a reg, when we get isolated in this situation to 3x, we do need to be defending the majority of our suited hands, just from a mathematical standpoint, because our opponents will be isolating at these stack depths in order to convince us to fold because it looks strong, but then also because on a lot of flops they're going to have opportunities to bluff aggressively, which is really beneficial for a short stack, right? If you actually look at a curve of the way that we ISO a lot more frequently as we become shallower. Obviously, in part because we're going to be doing a lot more shoving with weaker hands, but also because you know, the shallower we become from a strategy point of view, an ISO looks quite strong, and we do actually convince our opponents to fold quite a lot pre-flop. So I'm going to mark this one for review, but I'm pretty confident that we're doing the right thing here. Let's call this 12 effective. We'll do a review of this when we can turn off stars and look at some proper study material. But so far, I mean, I think it's pretty standard what's happening here. Once we arrive on this flop, our opponents will have some strong stuff. They'll have ace king, they'll have king queen, they'll have queens, they'll have jacks. They'll have all of those hands, no problem. However, they will also have a lot of complete trash as well. So technically speaking, the ISO range here is what we call polarized. It's going to be very strong stuff and very weak stuff. And therefore, when it comes king high, they're going to expect to bet this and win this at non-showdown quite often. They've used a nice small size. The shove here not only puts those hands in the bin where we can win a lot of chips without any variance, but also we have equity against even sort of the worst setups here as well. As played, we have 36.6% equity here on this texture, which is really, really good, considering that we ended up getting caught. So think about this. We get caught by an overpair. We have 36.6% equity when we get called. They're going to probably bet fold a pretty considerable portion of this range as well, which is absolutely massive. So when you combine the two outcomes, it becomes a very profitable situation. So $100. All right, so I'm going to mark that one for review. We'll actually cover that at the end of today's stream, so in about an hour's time or 40 minutes time. Let me see if I can set this up in a way that's not weird, guys. Let me see if I can actually get crazy time looking okay. See if we can degen this just a little bit. This is so stupid. All right, I think this is gonna work. I'm slightly concerned about doxing myself doing this, but we'll give it a go anyway. Okay, first things first. One sec. Let me plug in the headphones so we can hear what you hear. All right. I'm not sure if you guys are actually hearing the audio on this or not. All right, one sec, guys. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. All right. All right. Welcome to Crazy Time, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do like 3 spins. Ah, shoot. I'm trying to like size this so it works for you guys. It's really, really loud. One second. I'm not sure how to get audio for you guys here. All right. Let me see if this works. Is that working? Okay, I think you guys can hear now. Let me know if the audio is okay here. All right, so what are we doing here, gang? Should we do a... all right, one sec. All right, guys. So we'll wait till the next one, and then we'll do 3 bets. All right. I have no idea what Crazy Time is, but I'm ready. Okay, I hope this isn't something fun. Okay, it's not anything. Okay, we don't want any of the bonus games. Don't you do it. Okay, cool. Here's the strategy, guys. Here's the strategy. Here's the strategy. We're going to do Pachinki, Cash Hunt, Crazy Time. We're looking for bonus games only. Squaws, you're witnessing pure degeneracy. You guys requested it. Oh my god, Crazy Time right off the bat? Please. Okay, we're past it. Can we get some Pachinko? Oh my god. That would have been so huge immediately on stream. Bonus only, that's right. Alright. You don't need audio? I mean, you definitely need audio. Can you guys hear it? Tom doesn't even know what this is. Okay, come on, Crazy Time, get there. Please get there for the stream. Don't be a stupid coin flip. Bro, get out of my life. No, we're going to Crazy Time anyway, Tom. Stupid coin flip, mate. Coin flip is lame. I don't believe in coin flips, guys. That's a 50x. Okay, so we just totally like jinxed ourselves here. All right. We got to see at least one cool game, right? I can't win flips. All right, I'll take a cash hunt. Oh, Go on, give us a fun, crazy time. Go! Go! Oh man, the way that they have to chat all the time is so funny. These guys do such a good job, but like I feel so bad for the staff. Like they just gotta chat absolute nonsense.
Glad to hear that, Daddy. Okay, guys. But for all the Russian players out there, let's go for
Do not give him a coin flip.
outside coin flip with 3x.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Close. Oh man. That is
Hiker Tommy's asking, what on earth is this? This might be the most degenerate game there is on the internet. And I feel like we have to play now until we actually get a proper bonus game. We got to go for a proper game, right?
What do you mean, Tyler? Who? Okay, bet on all
We got to get at least one bonus game
available.
for the stream.
You can check out the previous service results if you're interested. Here we go. Top spot 2 is 50x.
50x coin flip is the biggest troll I've ever seen in my life. Don't you dare.
Family get number 1.
Aaron wants me to bet all 4 even though the coin flips are fake. Maybe we should bet all 4 just so we actually get there.
So beautiful.
No, they're fake. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it, Aaron. Did she say Raksha? Come on, do it for the stream. That's okay. We don't care about that. Give us a big bonus game. Pachinko! Pachinko! Go!
My name is Laura. Thank you, Himonza.
All right.
Okay, 9,315, 600 total. Have that jack.
Is this where crazy time sends us broke here?
Good luck to you all. I'm from Latvia. Where are you from?
Go on, do something exciting.
That's what woman said. All the luck to you guys.
It's fun to talk to the board presenters in the chat. They're usually super nice and interesting people. I have no doubt. Get there. Yeah. Go. Stop. Yes. All right. Come on, guys. Big cash hunt now. This is it. We're doing it now. This is retribution.
Oh, hi, didn't see you there. Nice to see you here at Passion, guys.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there.
Maximum overcard.
I don't want to hear anything about recommend. You're the one that recommended this, Tom. All right. Okay. Where are we going here? Okay. We're doing a poker stream.
I hope you get
And for that reason, we should go for a duck, right? Like ducks. Okay, so we like ducks. Ducks. This duck. Here we go. Come on.
last few seconds, guys.
Come on.
Done. Decide. And
Please.
all right. Boom bow.
It's a 25x. It's a 25x. Let's go. That's profit. That is called profit, ladies and gentlemen.
1,518 winners in total. Let's go for a new spin. Thank you, Epe.
All right, that's enough.
Okay, guys, how much? Thank you, Venkat.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you play Crazy Time. All right, let's get back to the poker. That is what we call profit. All right, let's get the audio back. Ooh. All right, pocket fours, wish me luck. Immediately punished. Aaron wanted the bunny or the ducks. The ducks are a good shout. Max says this is some real degen shit. I approve. Should we do some more crazy time in the future? $25x is pretty good. 25x is pretty good. That's like, yeah. That was some very, very cheeky profit. Tell you what, though, that game will take your soul if you let it. Mac just says leave. That's it. The ultimate hit and run, guys. Professional hit and run. Was that a plus EV spin? Anytime you don't bet on... what am I doing? Sorry, guys. One second. I got to pull up my thing again. Yeah, check. Call this one. Sorry, I'm still randomizing these small blind spots, so I need to double check so I'm doing it right. Anytime you spin, anytime you play crazy time and don't play and don't bet on coin flips, you're good. No, it was profitable, Tom. It was a 25x. Yeah, we did like 5 spins. Yeah, it had to have been because it was a 25x. So we were doing 5 times 3, and we did like 4 spins or 5 spins or something. So we were covering 3 bets each spin. We spun like 4 or 5 times. Even if we spun 5 times, that was still profitable. That's the stream right there. Nick on the spins. And King Kurt on crazy time spin the wheel thing. Switch after crazy time win. Perfect. Yeah. Suddenly overnight it becomes a crazy time stream. Things have changed now. Things are different now, Ed K. Sir Mick says, thank you, Nick. I was always tempted to stream the wheels and I was never sure if Twitch allowed it. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm pretty sure Twitch frowns upon casino streams in general. But obviously that's not what we're here to do. We're here to crush spinning goes. Marcos. Nice hand, buddy. If I bet on coin flip, I would have won 250. Tom, I know. I'm telling you, it's a trap. I'm telling you, it was a trap. That's how they get you. It was more than 4? No. Maybe 5. Go back and count. How many did we do, Tom? But also, Tom, when we opened it up, we weren't betting from the outset as well. We didn't bet on every single spin. We only bet on the ones where we click the button. Go back and count where I actually click the bet button. So Mixstar, I don't remember exactly what happened, but Twitch really cracked down on the gambling streams for good reason as well. There was like a lot of really bad actors. Do I see future channel point redemption for Crazy Time? Oh, that's a good idea. I don't mind that. That's definitely on the cards, Aaron, for sure. That is definitely on the cards, mate. Curtis blabbing about nothing. All right, can we come back from a 4-1 chip deficit? Can't speak now. I feel the same way about John Silver's loot on the treasure wheel. Not sure I know what that is, but I think we're on the same page. Have best goats. What's up? Good to see you. Can we get a diamond on the river? I think it was 5. So we didn't bet. Yeah, it was like 5. It was at least 1. Yeah, good point. Nice. The Jack 4 float is interesting there. We can do it, guys. We can come back from this. Nice. There's a lot of ones like that, Tom. I try not to play them. I generally don't play any of that stuff, to be honest. Yeah, Mac as well. I feel exactly the same way. There was a lot of really, really awful unregulated casino promotion shit going on that was not cool. I ventured into the game show section. This has to be bad news. I've seen some of the other ones. I've only ever played Crazy Time with, like, for the memes with the guys when we're playing the private games. There's a couple that are like that, and they're all trying to be like the next Crazy Time. It's actually really funny. Can we get much higher? Sensible bet sizes. Yeah, I think we have to call a turn here, guys. It's a little bit ugly, but kind of is what it is. If they bet the river really strong, then obviously we're going to feel pretty negative on this run out. Half pot on this river, dude. Nice hand. Yeah, Tom, exactly. There was a lot of nonsense in that department. I want to go back and count how many spins that was now, Tom. All right, I'm going to count now. Okay, so that wasn't a spin. That wasn't a spin. So that was the first one. That's 1. That was 2. That was 3. 4. 5. Oh, we run into aces because sure, why not? Okay, it's 5 or 6. I lost count there. I think it's 5 or 6. What's up, Cal? Good to see you. All right, so we probably have about another 30 minutes to stream today, guys, and then we'll do some review. Should we go for the bluff here, guys? Should we go for it? 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 These people hate folding, don't they? That queen is kind of an annoying card. If it's not the queen, I think I probably do run it. My biggest issue with it is that if they have like pocket jacks or something, they probably just always call. If they have like when the board pairs, people just never give you credit for the queen anymore, which is like a part of the combination that we really want to try and represent. Yeah, it was we definitely made a profit. I mean, the balance just shows that anyway. 100%. It did look like we were spinning more though, Tom. It's obviously spinning all the time. We watched a couple spins before we actually made a bet though. That's probably why it was confusing. All right, we're gonna run this one, guys. Wish me luck. Nice. Too many outs. Too many outs. Next game, please. Unlucky Jay, sorry to hear that, buddy. I'll send you a breakdown, Tom, but basically the idea is that we are going to the first 10 spinning goes that we play are for 1 point. Let me see if I actually have the, let me see if I can pull up the actual item. There's a breakdown of it here. So the way it works is in the first round, the first 10 games that we play are 1 point per win. In round 2, we play 5 games, and each of those in a win there is 2 points per win. And then in round 3, we play 5 games, and then that's 3 points per win. And then there's going to be a shock reveal at the end. There is one more item at the very end that we can. There's one more twist at the end. So I think it's gonna be about 3 or 4 hours, I guess. 3 hours and 30 minutes or so. Well, no, 3 hours, maybe 4 hours if we're gonna go full screen once in a while too. Kings is a good hand. Don't want to set, thank you. That's always a very fair spot though. So put the steal on this one. Can we finish him off? Wish me luck. Here we go. That's a cold deck. Obviously, King 10 is a call 100% of the time. Running into King Queen, kind of a bummer. What's up, Lawler? 61 days until Monte Carlo. Let's go. That's exciting. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. In case you guys missed the announcement as well, there's going to be additional EPTs this year. All right, Venom, nice one. Looking good, buddy. 30,000 spins. Let's go. Nice work, dude. Very good looking graph. 30K. 22.5. Yeah, 30K spins. Nice one. Definitely a shove here as well. Just running into a hand. Nothing to be concerned about. Same again here. That is a good looking graph, my friend. Nice work. Nice. Yeah, we're going to give him a spin with the deuces, of course. Beautiful run out there. Let's go. Running into eights, kind of a bummer again as well. How expensive is Monte Carlo? It is just absurd, mate. Not exaggerating. It's silly. It's genuinely silly. A friend of mine took me for a pizza
if only there was someone that was an expert at
a pizza and a
25
soft
big
drink
wine,
at the casino adjacent to the Monte Carlo Bay Hotel.
sound like that's your voice.
Not the main hotel where we actually have the event, but next door. We had one pizza, one like normal size, like one portion pizza each, soft drinks, and I think it was like 150 or 200 euros. It was absolutely insane. That was probably 4 or 5 years ago. It's cheap if you have the company credit card. Have you guys ever seen a 10 high hero call before? Have you guys ever seen a 10 high hero call? You guys ready for a 10 high hero call? Nice hand. Nice turn. Back in the game. No good. All right, cool. One more game to finish the stream today, guys. And then we'll do a little bit of review. We've got 3 hands marked for review before we wrap things up, which you guys can follow along with. Yeah, it was very expensive. I'm trying to think. I've probably, like, honestly, sometimes Las Vegas can be as crazy. Sometimes Las Vegas can be as crazy depending on where you are. It was for 2 pizzas and 2 soft drinks. 2 pizzas, 2 soft drinks. Not even a single glass of wine. Can we get some action with the Ace King? Not a lot to report here in these games, guys. Not a whole lot going on.
Actually, if only there was someone that.
Thank you very much for the
was
follow.
An expert at sub 25 big blind. That's what you sound like. That's your voice.
I appreciate you. That was Nukem. Also, Spooky Donk gave me a follow as well. So did Dan. So did Sheen. Sorry, guys. Missed all these. Miziel as well. Sorry, guys. I need to turn my alerts on so I hear them. Miziel, Sheen, Dan, Spooky, Donk, and Nukem. I appreciate you guys. It's very kind of you. All right, King Queen, can we get some action? Can we win a 60-40? Nice.
Actually,
Thank you for the
if
follow.
only there was someone that
That was
was,
Olga. How you
was an
doing?
expert at sub 25 big blind.
Toasty indeed, Tom.
That's what you sound like. That's your voice.
I need to remember to use my buttons more as well. Sneaking a little min raise here. That wacky Griffin, the 1K Hyper Crusher. God, such a goober. Such a goober. Getting check raised is interesting, isn't it, guys? Okay, comeback material here, guys. Straight comeback material. Gonna value bet the 7. Nice.
Actually, if only there was
Thank
someone
you for the
that
follow as well.
was an expert at sub
That was
25 big
Lithuanian
blind.
Goose, which is a great name. How you doing?
That's what you sound like. That's your voice.
All right, just need to find a little opportunity, a little opening here, and we can do it. Jack 9 suited is a call versus push. Wish me luck. Man, 50-50 here. Post. It's a fake flip. Yes, let's go. Let's get this final win. Let's get that final win. So, Tess, technically there is ICM, but the discrepancy between the first place, second place, third place is so big usually, at least in PokerStars Spin and Goes, that we should, you should just play Chip EV really. You really, those are the moments when you need to get the win anyway. Like they're so high value for your overall ROI that it's really important that you go for the win in those situations. Don't worry too much about the laddering. This one's pretty close. I think that one might technically be just inside of a call. We're calling this one for sure. Yeah, we want action with the 9s here. So much so we're going to put in a little raise. All right, wish me luck. This should be a good one. Slightly ahead. Very ahead. Let's go. And can we finish with a win here today? That would be great. Big finish. Come on now. Come on now. Let's go. 50 bucks in the bank. And let's take a look at some results and let's do a little bit of review, guys, just to wrap things up today. So, over here to the graphage.
Actually, if only there was someone that was an expert at sub.
Thank you for the
25
follow
big
as
blind,
well. That was Just Kidder. Thank you very much for the follow. How's it going? All right, so here's a look at our results thus far this year, gang. That session was a bit of a roller coaster. Let's look at today. So you guys can see here with the refresh, we have managed to get off to a great start, and then the actual chip EV kind of fell away here a little bit. I think we didn't really do much wrong. Usually by this time in the stream, if I feel like we've been making a lot of mistakes, I have a slightly different feeling overall. I think basically it just looked like we had a lot of pretty not so nice sort of pre-flop situations. So again, if we filter specifically for this year and we take a look at that, you can see that today really we just went up and back down. Not a whole lot to write home about, but we're still putting in a shift here. We're still putting in volume, which is always good for the spins. Overall, we are winning $25.50 this year so far. Again, that's a lot to do with the discrepancy between these two lines here. Chips EV doing very well. We're still winning 79 chips per game on average. Very, very strong. But we need to win more chips in order to win more spins in general. That being said, let's take a look at a couple of these spots for review. So let's close PokerStars. PokerStars is now closed. So we're going to make reference to some advanced material here now, including the Nick Walsh TV chart pack. And that is something that we're not supposed to be using while we're grinding. So again, we're following TOS and all that. If you're watching this back, it's all good. Don't you worry, guys. Don't you worry. We're following the rules. So let's go ahead and I'm doing this later. 6-7 suited. We were. This is the one we're on the button. So we're going to open the Nick Walsh TV chart pack. So this is available for purchase on my website. If you guys want to become a Spin and Go crusher, pre-flop is definitely the place to start. And I sell this on my website, and it's basically everything you need for pre-flop and spins. It's pretty comprehensive. So we're looking at images, we're looking at three-way, we're looking at the button, we're looking at about 8 to 10 effective. So let's take a look at 8 big blinds effective. 6-7 suited is a shove. At 9, we're still shoving 6-7 suited. And at 10, we're shoving 6-7 suited, let's say about 80% of the time. So basically, this is the spot, guys, where we were on the button against two opponents. They both had about between 8 to 10 big blinds effective each. 6-7 suited is approved. That is a shove. I was thinking in my mind that I knew there was a drop-off. I knew that at some point 6-5 suited was omitted, and you can see it's 6-7 suited at 10. It's not at 11. 10, 9, 8. So we're doing the right thing. We've actually snuck it in at the right time. Suited connector, shove, button, multi-way, button. Very good. And that's a tick mark for that one. The other spot we're going to look at is 6-5 suited heads up in position, 15 big blind shove. So we were 15 effective in position. So this is a slightly different search now, guys. We go to images, we go to heads up advanced, we go to small blind, and then we're looking at the 15 effective chart, which is here. So we are 15, and we were questioning whether or not it was possible to shove 6-5 suited. Looks like 15 is a little bit too aggressive, but you'll notice as we get shallower here, guys, watch how quickly the suited connectors start to sneak in. This is 15. This is 14. This is 13. So at 13, we start to shove 6-5 suited, 6-7 suited, 8-6 suited, and then 12 and below, we're going to do a lot more of it, right? So there you go. Now even 5-4 suited at some frequency. Once we get to 10, 11, that's the real cutoff. So it looks like on this occasion we were being a little bit too aggressive. This is also an interesting conversation to have as well, because a lot of people go into Spin and Goes thinking, oh, it's just push fold. It's, you know, like it doesn't matter. You just need to know your push fold. That's not correct. That's not optimal. So what you're looking at here is the solutions that I created myself. I built them in simple pre-flop. These are the solutions provided when you give opponents and yourself the opportunity to have more than one line. We can call, we can fold, we can min-raise, we can shove. After doing the calculations on all four, the highest EV move for some of these suited connectors is a push, as in the highest EV move in equilibrium, which again is not the same as exploit, but you take my meaning. Basically, knowing your push fold is not enough. So knowing that we can shove 6-5 suited profitably at 15 big blinds effective does not mean it's the most optimal way to be played. So on this occasion, we were a little bit too aggressive, but you can see that our head is kind of in the right place. So as just a rule of thumb, if you're going to be studying the spot, once we get to 11, you're allowed to show a lot more of your suited combinations. That's an important takeaway from here. So that one's done, that one's done. And the last one is Jack Deuce suited. So This is what we're double checking is we were at 12 effective. Our opponent raised, as in they ISO'd versus our limp, and we defended Jack Deuce suited. That's what I want to double check here really quickly. So now, again, going back to the chart pack, if we go into images, we go into heads up advance, we go into big blind versus limp. Nope, sorry. We are in the small blind, and we are facing an ISO not all in, and this was an ISO 2 at 12. So if we look at the 12 big blind spot and then we look at the 3x ISO, you guys can see this is the defending range. You'll also note that in the Nick Walsh TV chart pack, I actually have the correct ranges for multiple ISO sizes. So these are the optimized ISO sizes at the 12 big blind effective stack depth. And you can see that we actually have the 3x built in there as well if you're interested. So these are the hands we're supposed to defend versus an ISO. Again, you don't want to be doing this against unknowns. Unknown players will ISO not all in with very strong hands, and they won't be balanced. Therefore, a lot of these defends are just not part of the range. Jack Deuce suited was the correct call. Now, what we can do is take this one step further, and we can make use of our GTO wizard. Oops, don't close that yet. We can make use of our GTO wizard subscription, which Nick Walsh TV has paid for. So let's take a look at that. Let me get it pulled up for you guys. Make sure this is proper. So going across now to GTO Wizard, one of the things we wanted to look at was the post flop in this hand. So if we go across to hands and then we filter specifically for today. And now we are looking for the pre-flop here. We're looking for Jack Deuce suited. This is the spot. So let me give you a little replay of the hand, guys. And then we'll take a look at it in GTO Wiz in a moment. Bear with me, guys. Just got to open it up. I'm glad I did this off cam. There we go. So I'm not doxing myself. And then we look in the study section. Close this. Reset. Okay. So taking a look at this spot here, guys. Basically, this was the scenario. Oh, sorry. This isn't right. Jack Deuce suited this one. So if you guys weren't here for the hand, this is how it went down. We limped with Jack Deuce suited. Our opponent ISOs to 3 big blinds, and then we defend the suited Jack Deuce suited. There you go. Pretty straightforward stuff so far. The flop is 2 diamonds, and as I was saying, the defend is correct pre-flop. We've already checked that.
Was an expert at sub 25 big blind.
Thank you for the follow. That was Finster. How's it going, Finster? Good to have you here. Thank you for that. So basically, what we do here is our opponent bets 1.5, which again I think is GTO, and then we shove the sort of 8 and a bit big blinds effective here. My anticipation here is that this is accurate from a GTO perspective. Again, the point is that our opponent, being a reg, is going to have a lot of ISOs that are bluffs, more so than unknown recreationals. And then we're going to generate some fold equity here. So let's take a look at the spot. It starts at 12 big blinds effective. We've called, our opponent has raised to, we're going to say 2.5, but what's interesting here, this is an example of how I think that the Nick Walsh TV chart pack is superior to the GTO Wiz solves. This is my interpretation, this is my opinion, but I do believe that it's accurate. A lot of the work that I did in creating my pre-flop chart pack was a lot of extreme experimentation with the bet sizings that most people take for granted. So a lot of people just assume 2.5 and 4 is going to be the most optimal sizings here. Based on my research that I did on my own, I actually believe that the 3x sizing is superior at this stack depth. At least it's the one that is used most frequently by the solve when you give them multiple sizings. And then also having the 4.5 as an alternative to for the 1/3 pot ISO. So let's just assume we did 2.5 and we've called. Again, you'll see that the defend here still includes Jack Deuce suited regardless. So we're still in that zone. So it was King of Hearts, 3 of Diamonds, 7 of Diamonds. So that was the flop. And you'll see that the majority of the betting that we do is going to be about 1.5 big blinds here if we're betting at all. So 1.5 happens about 4.3% of the time, and then there's another bet of about 20%. Let's throw in the 1.5 C bet size here. We can see that, really between these two, there's not a lot of difference here. In any case, let's just assume that we bet 1.5. What are we doing with Jack Deuce suited? It looks like 100% call. Okay, interesting to see what they do with 2. because this is very much why we want to do these studies. Our assumption here is that the shove is superior, but it looks like the call is better. So let's say that our opponent bets 1.5 again, and let's say that we do decide to go for a call. And then the turn is just a complete break like the deuce of clubs. At this point, this is probably why. So 3.5 on the turn. And what are we doing with this now? So 2, 3, 4. So the gut shot with the 5-6. The 5-4 is the straight draw. Jack-8 offsuit wants to fire again. That's really interesting. The kings, of course, go for it. The queens at some frequency. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, cool. So if we break this up into the two sides, A7 for value, 5-4 is a bluff. So I guess this is part and parcel to the breakdown, right? Based on the turn response here, it would appear that the reason why the solver wants us to call with the jack high flush more often is because, number one, it anticipates that our opponents are not going to be able to do a lot of bluffing on this turn unless they have a very specific combination. There's a lot of value hands in this in the turn bet range here, right? If we're breaking it into 3.5 and check, there's a lot of value bets and there's not as many bluffs. And the bluffs that do exist because they have some semblance of sort of gut shot or something like that as well. So this is unexpected, but it would appear that there is sort of an area here that we can improve upon, and it looks as though the actual flat is superior to the shove with the suited jack. Now, we've looked at what the computer wants to do. However, let's ask ourselves now, in reality, if the shove is superior. Because if we're playing against, let's just assume we're playing against a random and not a reg, because a reg will play closer to GTO, which means this is better. If we're playing against an unknown, and we have that combination, the shove might be superior against an unknown because they might be more willing to fold hands that shouldn't be folded, right? They might actually fold a 7. They might actually be folding, a 3 or something like that. They might even be folding hands like pocket 8s, pocket 9s, you know what I mean? Like, it's very player dependent, but it's important that we don't just consume this and not think about it sort of objectively. And I wonder if there is probably a considerably good reason for us to take an alternative line. So let's say we go back to the flop. Let's say that we go back to 1.5. The solver just wants absolutely no all-ins whatsoever. So when you see something like that, I think probably it is just superior to play it as solved. Because usually if there is enough merit to the alternative line, my line in this case being a shove, then usually what we can anticipate is that the solver just really hates it because it's probably just not a thing whatsoever. So actually the flat on this occasion would have been better, it would seem. So we can go back and study that one and also bear that in mind. So around 12 effective, we've called the ISO correctly, but then on the flop, potentially making a mistake by playing the shove. I guess the other takeaway from that is, if we go back to here, guys, the other takeaway, I guess, is part of the reason why we're putting in the shove on this board is, as explained when we were playing, this is the thought process I gave you guys. Our opponents are going to have very strong hands, but they're also going to have weak hands. And therefore, and I mean that in a polarizing sense, extremely strong and extremely weak. And for that reason, Jack Deuce suited actually probably just is the best hand on this flop, often enough for us to want to be calling, basically, is the takeaway. So is there still merit, therefore, for shoving, because we might be getting hands to fold that have equity when there's already quite a few big blinds dead in the middle, potentially? However, the hands that do have equity probably don't have tons, because let's say that they just have a random 10 deuce offsuit. They'd have to be improving to a pair, for example, where it's not a diamond, or, and then obviously there's additional streets to come as well. So as played, probably just a mistake here. Probably just better to flat. This might be a leak in our game that we can study at a later date. So there you go. That's a good one. All right, a couple questions in the chat before we wrap it up. Question here from Test again. Hey, Nick, if a game just started 15 big blinds deep, I am small blind, and the button min raises, and it's a fish, I can know because of the ELO versus the game played, etc. How much tighter should I jam? For example, Equilibrium says ace-9 off is profitable, ace-2 suited. How much tighter would you jam there approximately? I would do very little very little deviation from GTO in that position test. So when we're playing in the small blind, it's just a very difficult position to play in the first place. And the majority of what the computer wants to do in the small blind is going to just be good against almost everybody. The alternative is going to put you in a lot of really ugly situations, and you're probably not going to be aggressive enough to make that position like as minimally loss as possible, because you know, small blind and big blind, it's very difficult to make those positions work for you. As soon as you get to 15, a lot of the math that's been done to tell you that ace 9 is good to go, ace 2 suited is good to go, is just going to be correct, and it's just going to be enough. The benefit of it being versus a fish is that they're probably going to min-raise fold too much. They will steal too often and they'll fold to too many shoves. And they'll probably do it with combinations that will have enough equity to call as well. I would say the fact that it's shorter stack than in a normal spin, so 25 effective, it's a bigger mistake potentially to be going all in against the wrong kind of opponent. But even then, I still would suggest not deviating. But at 15, you're shallow enough where I don't think you want to do much in terms of changing that position. Once you get heads up, the amount of stuff that you can do differently against fish is like very, very, very important. And it's also extremely beneficial to your overall win rate. An example of this is if you're playing against an opponent that's extremely passive and they very rarely ISO versus your limps, you can afford to take a lot of the high variance shoves out of your GTO range and make them calls, because they will allow you to play in position perfectly and put you in very few situations where you're folding hands that have enough equity to call. So if you're playing in a very fishy pool, a lot of the times there will be the kind of opponent that basically never raises from out of position unless they have the hand. And the frequency at which they do that is extremely small, because people feel very uncomfortable about raising sort of medium strength or weak hands from out of position in general. So one of the biggest exploits that I advocate for against those opponents, and actually because they're such a common opponent type, it's very useful, is start limping 100% against those passive opponents heads up. And then also there might be a couple jams that are 11 big blinds effective. We just saw that 6-7 suited is a jam 100% according to GTO. So it's 8-7 suited, or whatever the suited connectors were that we just looked at. So at 11, GTO is saying you should definitely be pushing these. The reason why they're saying you should definitely be pushing them is because they anticipate that your opponent will play back at you versus a limp, and you're going to fold a hand that has too much equity to be folded against the range that they want to push or they want to raise or whatever. And the computer wants to be unexploitable, so it puts that hand that is known to be profitable as a push at that stack depth, and it's also optimal into the push category. However, those combinations, you can limp them and then gladly fold them to a raise against the kind of opponent that never raises from out of position without a strong hand. Or you can call a small raise or whatever. It's up to you. Like, it's going to be situational. But there's a lot of hands that the solver will say you must shove these hands as we get shallower that you can include as limps that will allow you to utterly destroy your opponents that are too passive. Because they will just check back their whole range except for like aces and kings and ace king and whatever, and then you can just barrel them into oblivion, or you can just make strong hands when they're not representing hands that should have been all in pre-flop. And you flop bottom two and they've decided they're not going to shove ace deuce off and it comes to ace high. They can never fold, right? So they're misplaying their hand pre-flop in a way that really benefits you, because then they sort of own themselves when they can't get away. But yeah, there you go. So guys, tomorrow there is a server restart for like a significant portion of time when we're usually live. So tomorrow, I'm going to say that there's going to be no stream, but there still actually might be a stream. Let me think about it. I'll get back to you, and I'll get something on social media. I think that probably I will stream tomorrow from 2 p.m., but it's probably not going to be poker. It might actually just be gaming for the first time, which I think is something we wanted to try and do more of anyway. So let's say there is going to be a stream from 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'll figure out what we're going to stream. It might be Vegas Infinite. It might just be regular video games. We'll see how we go, but I'll let you guys know on social media about whether or not that's going to be a stream that you want to watch. If you guys did enjoy today's stream, please hit the follow button. Nick Walsh TV is basically brand new. The account has been around for a long time. I've only just started streaming on this channel like basically 8 times or something now. So if you've enjoyed the content, excuse me, Follow me here and also check out my social media platforms. And if you want to learn more about Spin and Goes, I have a fantastic chart pack on the internet. One-time payment. You guys have access to everything that you need for pre-flop and Spin and Goes. In my opinion, it's the best Spin and Go material on the planet. And like I said, it's not a constant subscription you need to pay in order to get access. And of course, if you need any help with your spins, check out the Discord. Drop the questions over there, and I'm always happy to help. And you know, happy to be of assistance for free over there, guys. So check it out. I love you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow, probably. If not, I'll see you on Thursday for the Spin and Go challenge thing that I'm going to do with Western, which you guys will not want to miss. So put that in your diary. I love you all very much. See you tomorrow.